Hey, I'm Sam Shocker, one of the co-hosts here for Daily Blast Live. And every day, the DBL staff is tracking the breaking stories on social so we can keep you up to the minute on trending news. But today, we're going to slow things down and let you get to hear our personal stories. We love talking with the DBL Nation, and we love how you share your lives, stories, and opinions with us. We consider you family. So we thought we would spend a little time letting you get to know us a bit more. So for the next hour, we'll give you our personal DBL takes on life. We share a bit about our childhoods, where we came from, and how we got to the Daily Blast Live studio here in Denver, Colorado. You'll probably hear some stories you've never heard before. And as a surprise ending, we'll share our never-before-seen Daily Blast Live audition screen test. And trust us, you won't want to miss that. So consider this a DBL meetup with myself, Jeff Schroeder, Erica Cobb, Al Jackson, Tori Schulman, Ebony Steele, and Jen Wiederstrom.
Okay, we love the clap. Hi, Jen Wiederstrom.
Hi, I'm Jen Wiederstrom. My background is in more health and fitness, and then found myself doing television early on with American Gladiators. If you look it up, look up Phoenix, pink hair, that was me. But then I transitioned into fitness and wellness. I started to find the power in the tools of health, and I think that's why Biggest Loser was such a great fit for me, because it's so much less about weight loss and so much more about transformation. The greatest asset in your life is you. And I'm here to remind you of that.
So my name is Jeff Schroeder. You guys might know me from CBS's Big Brother, The Amazing Race. Me and my wife actually met on Big Brother the first time we were on season 11. And then right after that, we did The Amazing Race, and then we returned again for season 13 of Big Brother.
Hey, I'm Ebony Steele, your favorite girlfriend, and you may know me from radio, TV, more specifically, the Ricky Smiley Morning Show, Dish Nation.
Hi, I am Tori Schulman. I am a co-host on Daily Blast Live, and I am also a stand-up comic and a pop culture nerd and a TV host.
Hi, I'm Erica Cobb. I'm one of the co-hosts on Daily Blast Live. I am a former morning radio girl.
Al Jackson, co-host, Daily Blast Live. I'm a local dude from Ohio. Been lucky enough to travel around being a stand-up comic. Now, before I get into this, has anybody here recently got a new car? Anybody? Yeah, a couple people. Youngin' in the back clapping. What'd you get, baby? A Lexus. Damn. Now, why? You know I ain't get a Lexus. You know your car is better than mine. Has anybody got anything worse than a 07 Hyundai Sonata? At first, I don't like y'all laughing at my car. Super. Excuse me, bougie crowd. My parents don't send me money. All right, that's what I got.
I'm Sam Shocker, one of the co-hosts of Daily Blast Live. You may know me from Dr. Drew on HLN. Also, I've been working as a contributor on CNN for the last 6 years. And this little one, I'm also a new mom. This little one is almost 12 weeks old. This is my Sophie, my firstborn, my everything. And she's doing so good. And all you moms out there know that that's not always the case. So we're really lucky right now. We're really lucky right now.
I was raised in Birmingham, but I was actually born in Chicago, Illinois, the home of Ebony magazine. A lot of people don't know that's actually what I was named after. Both my parents met in high school. My mom was 15, my dad was 16, in the lunch line, lived within 2 miles of each other. So their love story, that's where I think the evolution of Ebony Steele that you know today began.
I am one of 4 children. I grew up in a very strict household. My dad grew up in the South, and his perspective on life was very different, moving to Chicago during the Great Northern Migration. My mother was born and raised in Chicago, so her perspective was very different from my father's, but together we got a good sense of how the world works.
I was born and raised in the heart of Washington, D.C., about 2 miles right from the White House. My whole family, my sister, my mom, my dad, and I, all 4 of us are book lovers, obsessive about books. I had a very unique experience because my father lives and breathes all things law, and turns out I really enjoy it as well. So that's all we discussed for a long time. That was our language. I learned the Constitution. I learned the Bill of Rights. I learned the details of opinions of Oliver Wendell Holmes, Supreme Court cases. I learned about very important moments in our history that not a lot of like 16-year-olds were sort of talking about. You know what I mean?
My father, Otha, was married to my mother, Jackie. We adopted my sister when she was 4, and her name's Christina. And we grew up in Cleveland, more specifically Cleveland Heights. A lot of laughs, a lot of loves. So it was a really fun childhood. I think it made me the person I am today.
My childhood is some of my fondest memories. I think at the time I was so angry at my parents for the way we were raised, much more strict. It's my mom and dad, Norman Lynn, married now 44 years, younger brother Eric, older sister Kristen, and I'm so middle child, like 1000% middle child. My dad likes my sister best, my mom likes my brother best, and no one loves me, which was clearly not the case. I wouldn't have gone to LA without my mom and dad saying, "You're gonna regret it if you don't go. Home is always here." I was taught to validate through accomplishment. I think looking back now, I'm like, man, I was a focused high schooler. I mean, I would get up and like do school, have one practice, sometimes 2 a days because I was doing club gymnastics as well, and then I would start working my job at night. I couldn't believe I was doing that as a 16-year-old. But I had to save for college, and I was going.
So growing up, I was the youngest of 3 boys, so I guess I had the baby syndrome, always trying to be better than my brothers. I grew up in a town called Norridge, which is surrounded by Chicago and O'Hare Airport. Great parents, they were high school sweethearts, Keith and Mary Schroeder. I was a wild child, I had a temper, it took a lot to calm me down, and I went through a lot of ups and downs in my life.
I grew up in Santa Cruz, California. I was born in Detroit, Michigan, but my dad got a job in Northern California when I was like 1.5 years old. So then we moved across country to Santa Cruz, and I grew up there. It's a really cool community. Most people are like surfers and skaters, so I grew up very athletics. So I'm the youngest of 4. I have 2 older sisters and an older brother. My mom and dad are my saviors.
My grandmother was still alive, and I think about this all the time. I must have been like 7, and she had like this next door neighbor that had a grandson that was around my age. And one day, because I was obsessed with Michael Jackson, I was just like, I put on one of my grandmother's isotoners, but just the one glove, and put on these reflector sunglasses. And like, I remember walking to his house like, he's gonna think I'm so cool, he might not play with me. Like, he's gonna be so impressed with this kid. And he wasn't even home, so I just had to face his grandmother and then slowly have the door shut in my King of Pop face. I know that one went to her grave, like, who was this kid at my door with one isotoner on? Excuse me.
I'm a fantasy sci-fi person. I mean, for God's sakes, at my 2nd grade party, my mom and dad thought it was okay that I played Conan the Barbarian. And then I got to the scene where there's like the orgy and he's like slaying the big python, and all the girls are like crying, and you know what I mean, like and they started leaving, and my parents were like, "Oh man, we messed up." You know what I mean? As parents, but they thought it'd be okay, and they forgot because I'd seen it so many times, and it's what I wanted. It was my birthday. Oh my gosh, they turn it off, so then I'm bawling because I'm like, man, it's my birthday.
Oh my God, I have so many awkward moments from junior high and high school. So I was wearing one of those like 90s V-neck tees, right? Very baggy V-neck tee. And that day I wanted to like impress this boy that I liked. Mike Minardi was his name. And I stuffed my bra with paper towel balls. Instead of doing 1 whip ball in each cup, I did like 3 balls in each cup. And so we're in the middle of the quad, and I bend down to tie my shoe, like right when the bell rang, and all the paper towel balls fall. The worst part about it, no one said anything. They all witnessed it, and they just like quietly walked away, and they talked about it.
At one point in my life, I asked for a bowl haircut, and then didn't like it and asked him to just bring up one side. So at this point I had an asymmetrical bowl haircut. Now at the same time, I'm legally blind and my mother's Jewish and worried. So I have not only glasses, something called sports goggles. So they are fully wrapped, I'm sure you guys remember this, wrapped around, and they're pressing down on the asymmetry. At the same time, I have an overbite, and it's something I have in my mouth called twin blocks. One retainer here with 4 blocks that I have to mesh up like this. So as I'm walking around the school, I'm saying, Mom, why is another one paying attention to me?
Stay tuned, because when we return, we'll talk parenting, jobs, and a whole lot more when Daily Boss Live continues.
I was like, I don't even care how much you pay me. I can't do this.
Hi, my name is Ebony Steele, your favorite girlfriend, and I'm one of the hosts on the new Daily Blast Live. There were several challenges I faced in coming here. The trucking company moved stuff here for me. What I didn't know is, like, every 5 hours he was gonna call me to wire him $500 more. We almost there. Need a little more gas and a little more food. At this point, if I had to answer what it's been like uprooting my life and moving to Denver, I'd have to say it's somewhat of a dream. So the transition for me has been great. There were hiccups all the way, but in all, I feel like I can make this home. The thing that seemed so attractive to me about Daily Blast Live is even when I read the description of the hosts that they wanted, energetic, witty, your own opinion, well-versed, can be serious, can be funny. I'm like, that's me! Well, I think what's so interesting about Daily Blast Live is I consider myself to be a teacher and a student. It's live, it's off the cuff. I can't believe people are actually paying me to hear my opinion.
Because Daily Blast Live is covering all the trending stories rising on digital and social media platforms, we are delivering the latest information not only live on our show, but also straight to your news feeds morning, noon, and night. You can find us at Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, and YouTube, all at Daily Blast Live. Social media is where we start the day's conversation, starting with our Breakfast Blast video every morning at 7 a.m. that tells you everything that happened while you were asleep. Then at 9 a.m., join us on Facebook Live for our daily digital pitch meeting where we discuss the top trending stories we are working on for the show and let you be a part of the decision-making process. Then throughout the day, we'll be dropping live updates, digital YouTube series, and snackable videos on all our social media platforms so you'll never miss a trending topic on the rise. We'll always turn to our social media for comments throughout our 3.5 hours of live programming so you can be a Daily Blast Live social commentator. Send us tweets straight to our phones during the live show. Let us know if you agree with us or not. It's about all of us having a real discussion about the events happening all around us. That's what makes Daily Blast Live a truly unique experience.
Hi guys, it is Tori and
Al. All right. We didn't even practice that and we nailed it.
the digital team wanted to get to know us, so they're going to ask us some awesome questions, and whoever has the least funny
Gets wet
answer
head.
gets wet head.
What would you do if you were the opposite sex for a month?
Well, like, you know what I would do? Pee standing up constantly. I would treat women well to show them that guys are great.
Oh my God. That should have been on the Hallmark Channel. Like, hey, listen, I would rub people on the back. If I was the opposite sex for a month,
It has to be clean.
I'm buying all the good smelling soaps. If we're over your house and like all you have is like Mountain Dairy Breeze, shower gel, we act like, oh, that's all you got. We like that.
I think Al wins.
All right, I'll do it. I'll take this one. 1, 2. Oh!
On season 16 of Big Brother, me and my wife got engaged. I surprised her. My family got flown out, her family got flown out. Brett Eldredge sang, it was beautiful. You know, it was great to go back to our roots. We met on Big Brother. I thought it would be only right if we got engaged on Big Brother. Soon after that, we planned on getting married in Mexico. Got a little surprise. Now we have a 10-month-old Lawson, and we ended up getting married just at the Beverly Hills courthouse before Lawson was born. So, I don't want to say there was two different Jeffs before Lawson and after Lawson, but I'll tell you one thing, my emotions after having my son are like, I cry at commercials now. It's like crazy, and before I was like this college football macho guy, you know, growing up in Chicago, football star guy, and nothing, you know, could get under my skin. I wouldn't cry at movies, and now it's like, if I see a movie from the 80s or, you know, God forbid, one of those commercials come on with the dogs in the cages, forget it. I'm out, I'm crying, you know?
Abrian, which is my daughter, she's 11. She's beautiful, very classically girly. If I bought her a pair of like black sweatpants, she'd look at me like, I don't know what you're doing with that. Like if it's not pink or light blue, like we're not talking. And I kind of like that. I like having a little girl. You know, she's daddy's girl, and we talk every day, and I just enjoy her company, and it's just been a joy to watch her grow up, you know. My second oldest son is Elijah, he's 9. Elijah is one of the smartest human beings I've ever met. He taught himself to read. You know, they're so amazing, but they don't notice it, you know, and so it's just kind of interesting to see somebody as humble as him just go through life and not know how special he is. Then my youngest is Ford. He's my little caveman. He's got hair down to his shoulders. He's like a little Bam Bam. And it's just like, you just have to sit there and just like not lose your mind as a parent, because he's gonna fall and he's gonna cut himself and he just does these things, but he's just like, he's my little linebacker, and I love him. He'll snuggle with you, but you can tell he's gonna be a big kid.
Being a new mom, is the most incredible experience of my life, but it's definitely the best of times with the worst of times. Now that she's 3 months, I feel like that you can finally breathe, and you find the balance, you learn their cries, what they mean. In the beginning, it's really daunting and scary as a new mom. Your hormones are out of whack. You're sleep deprived, so you don't know whether you're dealing with that or whether it's something more clinical. Just in summation, I mean, it's the best experience of my life, but there's definitely times where you're panicky, or it might test your marriage because you're sleep deprived, or you're resentful because you think that you were up all night the night before and the other person got sleep, and that's all trivial stuff once they laugh. But in the moment, it can be really hard.
So growing up with a Jewish mother and a Jewish father, you are expected to have kids immediately as soon as you get married. And all over the world, people and women and men are gonna understand this. I really wanted to be a star. I really wanted my career more than I wanted a baby. So as of now, we wanna wait a couple years. Let's hope that my body and his body agrees with that. My mother and father don't agree with that. And they said they'll bribe me, but in jest, they had me grow up with very big, ambitious dreams. Big, ambitious dreams. And they're not anyone to say to put the baby over career, although my mother might call in right now and say that's not true.
When we come back,
it was a very humbling moment for me.
plus
10-minute break, just tears.
Daily Blast Live gives you the opportunity to interact with viewers in a way that no other show has done before. Whether you're in the middle of the country or across the world, Daily Blast Live allows you to interact with us in real time as news is trending. Just go to dailyblastlive.com on your device or download our DBL app. You'll be able to join the conversation in real time. We have a bunch of ways for you to engage with us, so download the app now. You won't be disappointed. The future of interactive television is here, so join the conversation on Daily Blast Live.
Hi guys, it is Tori and
Al. All right. We didn't even practice that and we nailed it.
the digital team wanted to get to know us, so they're gonna ask us some awesome questions, and whoever has the least funny
Gets wet
answer
head.
gets wet head. What's the most childish thing that you still do? I color.
Wow.
I have a color by number. Sometimes I feel like in my life as a comic, I'm trying to do this and do that and make myself known, and I'm making all these decisions. I just want someone to make my decisions for me. So if there's a bird and it's purple, I just want to color it purple.
I still, like, to this day, I've always thought people falling was hilarious.
Oh, I love it. I
So
love it.
just send me
Coloring.
all your fall videos. I'll never get tired of
All
it.
right, who wins that one?
Tori's like
Are you
becoming an
kidding?
expert at this. She's put it on with, like, seamlessly.
I'm like, it's so slow. It's worse when it's slow.
I'm Jen Wiederstrom, one of the co-hosts of now Daily Blast Live. It's pretty much a team effort. You know, moving for Daily Blast, it's been going through everything. It's the, why do I have 9 pairs of that sock? It was actually much more of an emotional process than I thought it would be as well. So now that the fairy tale of this amazing move has gone by, I'm actually living here in Denver, and Hank, my dog's really happy. It's much cooler here. But then there's also the altitude here. I tried to do a workout the other day, and I literally couldn't breathe. It was funny when Daily Blast Live came into view. The biggest selling point was access to information, to news, to other points of view, and let's do it in a fun way. The whole mission statement of Daily Blast Live is what's happening in the moment, what's happening right now. And I think what we're doing as hosts is we're creating a community within the 7 of us, and 8 with Tracy, obviously, down in LA. So for me, I thought, if this show chooses me, it's like the glass slipper, you know? So, and it fits, yay!
I worked for this modeling agency, modeling agency, we'll call it that. And they offered me $25 an hour to hand out flyers. I have to get into this monster, and it's like 115 degrees in Chicago. Clearly, this suit has been worn more than a couple of times. That lasted about 15 minutes before I was like, I don't even care how much you pay me. I can't do this.
So I washed windows for this company all up and down Rodeo Drive, on Sunset Boulevard, Melrose. If you know the Hollywood area, I was washing those windows. So when I go back, it's very humbling to see that, because one particular instance, it was so hot out, it was like 9 in the morning. I had my bucket with me, you know, my window guys cleaning t-shirt, my little thing, and I was on the corner, like on Rodeo Drive, and some lady came up to me and just gave me like $5. And I was like, ma'am, I'm working, I'm just taking a break, and I gave her $5 back, and I just ran and like started crying, and I was like, this isn't what I came here to do, you know what I mean? It was a very humbling moment for me.
It was sort of a small batch cool ice cream store, and I became a scooper. And I had caramel, and this was like April. This isn't like a long time ago, okay? Just dripping, but I'm great at the customer service, because I'm just hosting. And I'm killing it, but I'm also wearing a hat and taking out the trash with 18-year-olds. So I sort of want to cry a lot. A lot of times in the bathroom, 10-minute break, just tears, because it's like so far away from where you want to be.
We're getting real and unfiltered about our lives and the lessons we've learned along the way.
Al Jackson, Daily Blast Live, co-host. It takes so much effort to move, so I had to do a lot to get here. I came from Los Angeles. I was living there for about 3.5 years, but I'm making a new life here in Denver. And as long as the sun's out, I'm down with that. I'm scared of that snow. The weirdest thing to adjust to coming to Denver is definitely the altitude. I'm sure everybody said that, but it makes you question like what kind of shape you're in. I'm like, I never have to breathe hard after 2 flights of stairs, but here, it's every time. Well, I just believed in the people behind the project, and they did a great job. My co-hosts are amazing, but we are 100% real people. We talk like this on and off the air. This is not an act. You can't fake anything 3 hours live every day. So you're gonna really get to know us, and hopefully you really get to like us.
Hey guys, Tori Shulman here for Daily Blast Live, and we're talking about everything trending and everything that's about to trend. We're just missing you. This show doesn't work without your thoughts, your opinions, your ideas, your comments, your laughs. So get your phone out right now and download the Daily Blast Live app. This app is your backstage pass, your remote control. You can vote, comment, get connected, and it all goes right back on the show. If you haven't followed us on social media, let's get that started. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, YouTube. Just look us up at Daily Blast Live.
Daily Blast Live is always on, and so are the DBL hosts. We're tracking the latest trending stories morning, noon, and night. We feel like we know the DBL Nation so well since you interact with us daily and share your thoughts and stories with us, but we wanted to let you in on some personal stories about us. So we're getting real and unfiltered about our lives and the lessons we've learned along the way. 5, 4, 3, 2. All right, it's time for some of the DBL hosts to get personal. I'm so excited. You guys have all been so great, the DBL Nation, of sharing your personal stories with us. And so we want to let our hair down, so to speak. Sorry about that, Al. Sorry about that, Jeff. And let you guys in on our lives. So these guys have no idea what these questions are. I was able to peruse them. I can't wait to ask these questions. So let's start with, ooh, this is good. Okay, so who would you say is the mother of the group?
You.
Yeah.
I want to be the mom.
Sam Shire is the mom.
I want to be the cool one.
Well, you're the cool mom.
Yeah. Okay, I'll
You
take
are a cool
it.
mom.
All right, who's the biggest cheerleader of the group?
Ooh. Oh.
Yeah, that's easy, I
Jen.
think.
I'm going Jen.
I would say
landslide.
mother too. Jen's always there, like, eat this healthy, make sure you take care of yourself in the morning.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
Who's the most opinionated?
Tori.
Erica.
Bob.
Erica.
Erica, definitely. Yeah.
I don't think so.
Good one.
But you demanded to sit in the middle, right?
Zing.
Who's the class clown of the group?
Oh.
Tori?
I think it's Tori.
Al or me.
No, you're the clown.
I'm gonna guess Tori for all of them.
Speaking of clowning, do you guys have any funny behind-the-scenes moments that you guys want to share with us? That come to your mind right away?
Oh man.
Oh, wow.
I just think Jeff, like Jeff has like the one-liners that he continues to repeat that we all continue to repeat. Ebony, would you mind?
I didn't even know. I didn't even know you were going to ask me that. Like, if you asked Jeff anything,
I didn't even know where this was going.
I don't even know.
We were doing a show, weren't we? And then you said it, and you're like, I do that.
I do. Because half the time I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I do it too now.
Half the time I don't even know what's going on. I love him. So likable. Okay, so if you had to do an impression of your co-host, what would it look like? Now, you've already done this. Have you done impressions of
You
us?
are the impression one.
Oh my gosh, who do y'all want me to do?
Well, you just
already
did
did
Jeff.
Yeah, you just
Okay.
did.
Jeff.
I can do Jen maybe.
Okay.
Yeah. Do
Okay.
Jen.
All right, so here's what you guys gotta do. You gotta make sure you're eating stuff, okay? Because it's not gonna happen here. You're not gonna get healthy. You gotta stay hydrated. You gotta make sure you got oil on your skin. Hey, where's my doggy? Come here, baby. Come here, Hanky. Come here, Hanky Poo. Thank you very much. Bravo! That's it.
Wait, no one has a Tori one?
You have one.
I can do,
for
What
sure.
about Al? or Tori?
No, do Tori.
have
Why the chicken cross the road? To get to the other side, right? Because there's a road. Wait, should I do the chicken? I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. No. Was that funny?
Yeah.
No, I should. For next time, I'm not going to use a chicken. That'll be a fox.
No.
You think that's funny? Okay.
My favorite one was queso.
And here's Al right here.
yeah, okay.
Okay, here's
Watch out,
Al.
don't get on frame.
Well, no, because I have
Okay,
to.
here's
because he's
Al.
not here.
Here's Al.
Where's
because
Al?
we can never
Find out.
You can never find out.
Since day one, hashtag where's Al?
Al, where do you go throughout
I'm
the show?
around. I want to create like some mystery. I don't want you guys to always know what I'm should be anticipating. Is Al gonna come today?
Trust me, I know he's a black man. He disappears, but he'll show up sooner or later.
Okay, let me ask you this, Erica. Okay, so what aspect of Daily Blast Live do you like the most? And you have two roles here. So not only are you one of the co-hosts at the table as an anchor, but you also are the announcer. So what do you like about all of that?
I was just going to say I love working with you guys. Honestly, I've worked with a lot of ensembles. I think this is the best group of people. I really enjoy watching in the hub. I'm actually supposed to be working, but I'm watching them in the hub like the entire time. Sometimes they're like, "Erica, you're on." And I'm like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I was at home." It's just
She's
that
the
good.
boss up there, for sure.
Dude, and this is such a compliment. Al and I we're watching you, and then we looked at one another. We're like, she's a robot because you're so good.
Yeah.
You are
she is.
so good up there. Like, you
Yeah.
never miss a beat. So
I have all the
talented.
words right here, and I can't get it right. You memorize everything
Wait,
up
here's
there.
my impression of Jeff. Today on the show.
Okay,
We
Tori,
better have an edit button on this thing.
Tori, you're in the hot seat. Okay, so
I'm so sorry, Jeff.
Tori, and I feel like that I already know the answer to this one from you. Is it weird for some of you, I'm going to ask you, Tori, to have a camera in your face all day? Tori,
Not once.
You love it.
I just
Tori
never.
loves
I love it.
Right.
I love it. Does anyone else dislike having it in their face?
I don't notice it
I
anymore.
don't notice it either.
I'm not thinking
neither.
about anything but what you just
How long
said
have we
a
been here? So
couple
we've been
seconds
8 weeks, 6 weeks.
But yeah.
So
long
every day,
time.
yeah. So
I got a question for Sam.
Ooh.
You were part of developing the concept and everything. Has this show taken a turn in a positive way or a weird way that you didn't expect?
what if she
This-
just bursts into tears crying?
I do cry a
the show.
lot. I do cry a lot. This show is completely reinventing the wheel. So that's the coolest part about the show, right? But then, yes, different than any other show on television. You can't even compare us to anything that's out there. We are Daily Blast Live, and there's nothing else like it.
Right.
But what's made this show as incredible as it is this right here. Oh my God, like you guys are family. I've had moments where I've cried on your shoulder.
Yep.
I've had moments where you and I have had like really heart to hearts,
Yep.
and you guys have all kept me laughing, and you've like really adopted me into Denver because she's a local here.
Yes.
So yeah, I think this talent has elevated the expectation, if that makes any sense.
Well, yeah, it comes back to the people. You can make whatever show you want. If you don't
Right.
have these people, it doesn't come to life.
I would say this. For as long as we've been here, I had a few friends in Denver before I moved here. we're together all the time. We're like this weird family. It's not like, oh, I got to call Jeff. It's just like, yeah, what are we doing tonight?
We
It's
hang
just
out
us
every weekend.
Every weekend.
One day we were walking across the street and we were like, I wonder the people that are passing by us in the car, like, what are those group of people doing? I'll have on heels, Sam will have on her Converse kicks,
Yeah.
somebody will have on a backpack, somebody, like, who are these people?
No, they're definitely asking, and let me tell you, because I've been here since 2009 in Denver, people are definitely noticing. Every time we go in someplace, it's like, who are those
Well, we don't have
people?
a volume control button.
Yeah.
But I
We really
do call
keep it together when we're
I
all.
call us like a group of ducklings, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because one will go and then like, oh, well, we all gotta go. We all gotta go over there. You know what I mean? We're like little goslings.
Okay, so I remember when I was asking you guys, like, who's the mother of the group? Who's this? And I'm the mother, apparently. Okay, so
cool
who's
mother.
The cool mom. I'm a cool mom.
You
What's
are.
that from?
You're the-
Mean Girls.
Yes. 2 points for Tori.
Me and Jeff
okay.
had no chance.
Who's the most styling?
Oh, God.
Yeah, I'd have to
It's
go.
kind of a tie between Ebony and Sam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool look.
Very different vibes,
Yeah.
but like such a vibe.
Hey,
I love that I'm just standing right here.
Not so much
They're
Jeff
like
at all.
pointing around you, Jeff.
I wasn't even. I just totally faded away like Michael J. Fox in Back to the Future. Yes.
Okay, so speaking of DBL, speaking of Daily Bus Live, what kind of stories that we've covered so far have really grabbed your attention that have been the most memorable?
For me, it's the Holloway story, and it's re-looking at the facts as a older
The Natalie
person.
Holloway story.
Sorry, yeah, Natalie. I should have said her whole name. As a grown up, I guess, but also hearing your points of view because we've all experienced it from a different way, and I like that. I love hearing what everybody has to say about it as we process the information and the evidence and the reaction.
Right. For me, I mean, it's been the Al rants. I just think it's been so good.
your own segment?
I don't know if we don't just make the whole show, but we'll talk about it.
I really like recently we just did the Bobby Christina, Bobby Brown, and I thought that brought a lot of layers onto defamation and character and youth and fame, and I thought we all had really interesting stories, especially mine.
Yeah, of course yours. Yeah, I'd say anything that pulls your heartstrings because we have such a good time and we laugh, and then it sometimes brings us back to reality.
You're not thinking about like every time we have a heartstring. I just look at Sam. I'm like, Sam,
cries.
hold it together. Sam, don't cry.
You guys, this is embarrassing.
I can't even look at you.
Okay.
I can't like when you start crying. I feel like
You cry just as much as
I know, but if I look,
Jeff
if someone's
cries too a
crying,
lot.
listen, if someone's crying, I'll cry too. And if you show a picture of my kid and like she's crying, and then I know what
both
she's thinking
cry.
because we think about her
Yeah,
kid. Like if she
yeah.
looks at me right now, I'll cry.
It's like cue the Kleenex. It's coming.
But you make a great point. All of those extra shots, it's real people that were telling their stories. Like that, I love that you pointed that
It's
out.
inspiring, and that's what I love when we do the extra shots. Is I always leave it feeling like, oh God, I want to do more.
Yeah,
But
And
I
think-
also do. I love the memes about us, and we got to give a shout out to the crew. You guys. What other show does it that fast, and it gets our personality? And we laugh every time. So great job, guys.
And you said does it that fast. I don't know if the viewer at home knows just how, like this really is, our set really is a live breathing set. Everyone here is working. And so that whole, every time that we're live, which is like 3.5 hours a day, they're working, they're producing stories, but then they somehow find ways to do those memes of us, the gifts. We have the hardest working staff. Coming up next, it's the never before seen auditions of your DBL hosts. Stay tuned.
Do you think a lot of what
I think a lot of people are quick to judge Trump just as, yes, I think a lot of people are quick to judge Donald Trump. Like you're judging me right now. So one of the coolest things about Daily Blast Live is that we are live everywhere. In some cities, we are an hour-long live daytime show. In others, we're a live half-hour show before your favorite primetime series. Then globally, we are coming to you live all day long on our Facebook page. And finally, for everyone else, we are live on our YouTube channel every day for a 2-hour show starting at 3 p.m. Eastern. Daily Blast Live is truly live, morning, noon, and night, to bring you the latest trending stories that you and your family are sharing and discussing. And we hope no matter where you are or how you're watching us, you join in on the conversation and the fun.
My grandmother in Birmingham, Alabama, started a line of cosmetics and jewelry. Flora McGee. You can look it up. It's my name. I was born Ebony Florice McGee, named after my grandmother. And she went to John Powers Modeling School in New York. in the early 60s, when people they still don't know how she got through what. So she learned etiquette and what they called charm back in the day, brought it back to Birmingham. And for a period of about 8 to 10 years, Black women in the 60s could not be tellers at banks unless they went through my grandmother's modeling and charm school.
My throwing coach, Doug Reynolds, he just saw me training and lifting, and he goes, she must be this great athlete, and he believed in me. But I remember him crying in the car. He's like, of every athlete I've ever had, he's like, I'm most proud of you. You know, because to not think you can do it, and then I'm struggling to work my butt off on summers to pay for tuition and to earn a tuition, to earn a partial scholarship, and to have your coach that has an athlete that made it to nationals in multiple events, and yet me, the weirdo from Lisle, Illinois, who walked out on her late sophomore year to make it to nationals in less than 3 years, you know, and like his reaction made it real for me. And I think that was the first big pivot for my life.
My mother was born with a disease called Gaucher's disease, which is a metabolic enzyme deficiency disorder. And basically all that means is she's missing the trash people in her body that take out the trash. So what happens is trash will build up around her bones and oxygen can't get through and her bone like literally dies. She didn't know about this at all. She just was sickly growing up. She found my dad, they got married. 3 weeks after she got married, she stopped walking. So they had a very high-risk pregnancy. There were 3 teams of surgeons there. There was blood transfusions. I came out okay, kind of weird, but okay. And it was a victory, and that's why I'm Victoria.
My mom was in graduate school in Cleveland. She would take me down to Coventry, where they'd be playing like the Rocky Horror Picture Show. And that was the first time I saw gay people and people with, you know, pink mohawks. And it really, at that age, you don't question. You're just like, oh, these are people that inhabit my space. So I think later on in life, I never had any of the issues with xenophobia or anything because I was so normalized to just human beings.
I grew up on the west side of Chicago, and I'm old enough to remember being on the west side of Chicago. So I grew up in a low-income community, predominantly Black, so I never was allowed to like ride my bike outside. I was always kind of confined into the space that was behind our home. I have very early memories of like people being murdered. I have early memories of super intense fights in the middle of the streets, bullets coming through windows, stuff like that. So my experience in life is a lot different from my siblings' experience because I went from living in this area to moving to the suburbs at an older age. So I understood that for some reason, based on like maybe just the lucky birth lottery, that some people were born with things and some people weren't. And there sometimes was no explanation for it other than that's just the way that life works.
I am Tori Schulman, and I am a host on the new Daily Blast Live. I got the audition. They're like, would you move to Denver? And I was like, yeah, why not? No joke. My husband and I took an internet BuzzFeed quiz to find out which neighborhood we should live in. And they were like, do you like listening to Dave Matthews and walking your golden retriever? And I was like, yeah. And we had a big going away party, the Mile High Bye-Bye party. Said goodbye to all of our friends, left, had pizza in an empty house, and we're slowly getting our stuff together. It's so strange, but usually when you pass people, everyone's like, and you can tell they don't really like each other. Literally, I've gone out with these people every single night. And I literally get to hang out with my very best friends. I really want people to be able to have a community where they can speak and not be yelling at each other. It's a place where you can communicate, you can be yourself, we really will talk back to you, we really want your opinions, and I really like that aspect, that it's a community of positivity.
Hey, I'm Erica Cobb, one of the hosts on Daily Blast Live. I had no idea that like the universe was going to deliver this opportunity literally to my doorstep. So it's just super exciting. Even during the audition, it was just such a positive experience and we became like instant family. I think what interests me most is really entertainment, but I kind of feel like everything falls into the entertainment arena. You know, if you're talking
sports, if you're talking, I mean, even politics now is more like about personalities than it is about policy. I think everyone kind of does the Twitter litmus test, which is, you know, you're watching a show or something and you're thinking something and you're like, I wonder if I'm the only one who's thinking hashtag this show. And then you're looking like, no, I'm with about 45% of the population, you know, just based on how the world is like viewing this. So people just fascinate me. I could sit and people watch all day long.
Hey guys, I'm Jen Wiederstrom, and these are 5 trending exercises that may very well help you in your sex life. Let's get started. First up is the glute bridge. Place weight into your heels, slide your arms down, squeeze and turn your tush under, and just drive up. The next exercise is the inchworm. Reaching down, taking very small steps, inch by inch, pun intended. Out to that nice tight plank, squeeze, and then starting with your belly button, pull upright, drive your hips forward, higher, 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 roll on up, and repeat. This next exercise is an oldie but goodie. It's a fire hydrant. You're gonna go ahead and get onto all fours, tuck your toes under, and then from the side of your hip, lift vertically and come back to reset position. In the beginning, you may not be able to go all the way up, but go as high as you can as your body allows, keeping your core tight, and don't lean to get your leg up. Use your hip to do so. Okay, so for this next exercise, a seated V leg lift. Place your hands right in front and using your core, lift your legs off the ground just a few inches. Doesn't have to go to the moon. I need to anchor my band for these resistance band hip flexor extensions. Here you can anchor it to anything sturdy. She's gonna get a nice inner thigh workout while I work my hips. I want you to pull the band out, toes under, heels squeezing together, inner thighs squeezing, and the band's gonna rest right under those hips as you set your hips back and come forward. I like my hands in front of me and kind of out of the way. You're welcome to have them at your sides, but you're driving forward and up, holding a couple counts at the top to really get that squeeze. Again, heels, hamstrings, inner thighs, everything working. What I think is gonna improve your sex life more is that cardiovascular stamina, okay? What good are the muscles if you don't have the energy to use them? That's my DBL take.
What's the story, Tori?
Hey guys, Tori here with What's the Story, Tori? ? I'm hitting the streets of America to talk about today's trending stories. First up, where do women and men look when they're looking at the opposite sex? Where do you think men look at women for their first approach? I kind of think their face. This is because Linda's a good human being. What is the first thing you look at when you see a woman?
Her eyes.
Eyes, obviously lying. We are right in the middle there. Where does the male eye go?
To the woman's eyes. Probably eyes. Eyes.
Eyes.
Like shoulder eyes. Eyes.
So first you went with shoulder. What do you really mean?
The eyes.
Turns out it's lower. Can we go a little bit lower?
Probably the breasts.
Ding, 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 ding.
Boobs.
Correct. It's the chest. Now, where do you think women look at men?
Upper body, shoulders, chest, that area.
I like the vagueness of just this motion.
His eyes.
God, this guy's a romantic.
Chest.
Interesting. I also went there. Linda and I need to go get a drink.
The abs.
It's the abs.
Perhaps their gut.
Whoa, you are our winner. High five, buddy.
I got a belly.
I kind of like the belly in this nice like Bahama shirt, right? We're kind of on the Lido deck of some cruise ship. I'm Tori Shulman with What's the Story, Tori? ?
Here's defending his dad, but how do you defend something that's been taken out of context? That's the question.
I think a lot of what Trump says is taken out of context. So you got to give and take, you know?
Do you think a lot of what
I think a lot of people are quick to judge Trump just as, yes. I think a lot of people are quick to judge Donald Trump. Like you're judging me right now.
Willing to pay other passengers to not recline. Would you be one of those passengers who be like, okay, here's $10, don't recline?
So they can't lean back. Oh my gosh, yes, because their most recent flight that I've been on before, it was so bad, it wasn't even coach. I felt like I was an assistant coach. They leaned back, I couldn't go forward. It was just really, but there's no spirit about that. It's like, you break my spirit when I have to pay you for my back. He called broken spirit airlines.
This is heavy. was when Phaedra Parks accused her of drugging Portia so that, are you following me? So that Candy and her husband could have sex with Portia unconscious.
And one question, is Phaedra not an attorney?
If Phaedra's an attorney, did you know that?
I just want to ask one question.
Yeah.
What are we talking about?
That's today. We'll be back tomorrow with all the latest trending stories, and we're always live on our social media platforms. I'm Sam Shocker. We'll see you next time on Daily Blast Live.